Everybody, welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. I have some real life stuff to attend to here very shortly, so I'm going to try to do a quick recap on tanking. And I'm not trying to call anybody out. I just want to go over some fundamentals, elements, and aspects to tanking when it comes to MMOs. And I'm going to use the DK here in Final Fantasy XIV as a prime example of things to look out for when you're tanking, and the difference between an MT and an OT. Okay, so somewhere along the line, some idiot decided that tanks should be focused on DPS. It kind of defeats the purpose and the premise behind the word tank. Right? Now, different tanks in different games play different have different effects. This is true. Okay. But mitigation is the #1 priority if you're a main tank. Now, if you're an off tank, this is in raid scenarios, you would typically be a utility tank. Basically, you're either debuffing, doing a little bit more damage than your typical tank, or basically picking up ads and so on and so forth. If the main tank drops, you pick up the aggro and so on and so forth. But there was this good conversation I heard earlier about this ability for Final Fantasy XIV, and that's grit. Like, oh, DKs aren't supposed to use grit. Okay, first and foremost, why would the developers implement an ability you're not supposed to use as a tank? When this ability, now let's read the tooltip. Reduces damage by 20%. Oh, wow. Is that a form of mitigation? Oh, Jesus, I think so. So let me guess. Well, let me think here. Now, if I'm taking less damage, that's less that the healer has to heal me? Wow. That's a new concept. Moving forward, not only does it go ahead and reduces damage taken, but unfortunately, because you're a tank, and if you're reducing the damage, it's going to negatively impact the damage you do, because you're a fucking tank, especially if you're a main tank. Now, what's this third part? It increases the enmity generated. Oh, is that threat? Is that aggro? So if I'm using this ability, I'm increasing my threat generation? Why would a tank want aggro? I don't know. To keep people from dying? It's kind of interesting because also you can do what we call drop-offs, right? If you're good. If you know what the fuck you're talking about. If you know what you're talking about. Because if I cast grit, I got a cooldown, right? So it's enabled. So aggro, pull up the aggro. Now while this is on, I can't use the blood weapon, right? Because blood weapon reduces weapon skill cast time and the recast time, spell cast time and recast time, and auto attack delays by 10%, meaning you deal more damage, converts physical damage dealt into magic damage. Not physical. You're dealing now magic damage with your abilities. And this reduces weapon TP cost by 20%. The duration's 15 seconds. Now below it says, cannot be used while under the effect of grit. So if you pull up the aggro and you generate the aggro, all you have to literally do is drop it, enable, and literally DPS. If that's your thing. Keep in mind, though, if grit drops, your threat generation will also drop. Okay? Your enmity. So, wow. I am completely, like, shocked by this. Art MMO is getting weird. You got healers who are told not to heal, but throw out buffs, and DPS and heal second. Then you have tanks who are supposed to DPS and buff and hold aggro second. I know. This sounds nuts. It's really screwed up in ESO. Only game I've ever played where a tank gets shit for having over 30k health. It's ridiculous. You wouldn't see me under 40k health in ESO. Because the shield system always scaled max health. It's like you guys know nothing about mitigation because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's like, are you slow? Are you slow? No. Let me think. Are you slow? Do you know how to read? Are you dyslexic? Interesting. Very interesting. Another thing you're going to hear is the stupid thing. Do not macro on the DK. It's like majority of the abilities, I would make the recommendation, do not macro because the combinations can get kind of skewed up. There are some macros that you can do. Once again, if you know what you're doing. And if you know the global cooldown system and how to apply mitigation properly. And you have to understand the class functionality to be able to do so. But if you can do it, then you can utilize one or two efficient macros so you're not juggling so much. It keeps your resource management more optimal. Okay, so I will say that. So, like, my whole bar here is set up for the purpose of my rotation. So I have my unmend. It's my range pull. It's my, like, you know, the initialized hit, right? And then I have my little macro, my DK aggro. It's my single target macro. It's very small, but it helps me, you know, utilize my abilities and my effects efficiently. So it basically keeps the provoke up, right? We'll have a long cooldown, but the initial generation of the threat is huge. It's an automatic. So then I have my reprisal, which I'm actually going to deslot this because the shield breaks. So I would make this one recommendation. So I'm going to remove that one. Then I have anticipation. Anticipation is my dodge. It's just my dodge system, right? It's just going to keep the parry up, right? So then all of a sudden, if I want, I have my abilities that can reduce damage when the anticipation drops. And then my hard slash. And then, of course, I have a secondary macro, which is my AoE macro, which generates AoE threat and lays down the abilities. Once again, I'm going to stack, right, my convalescence, which is what increases my healing received, because I'm going to take a lot of aggro. So I want the healer to minimize the resources needed to heal me. Then I'm going to have the AoE threat gen. Then I want to have the shadow wall. Now you'll notice anticipation's not on here, but the shadow wall is very important because it reduces my damage taken by 30%. That's in conjunction. Okay, then I have Salted Earth, which is the T, that is the macro inputted, then Rampart. My Rampart is, once again, a damage reduction, so everything stacks. Stacks the damage reduction with Shadow Wall and Rampart. Now, if you don't want to use both and you want to use just two, that's fine. You can do that. But keep in mind, you want the reprisal, right? You want to keep some shield. But if I'm on single target, like say I'm on a boss, I'm not hitting this button. Right? So you'll see that I keep my unleash separate. So if I get a proc to the unleash, I'm not going to hit my macro. I'm going to hit it off the secondary bar. Okay? So you have to know what the fuck you're doing. Just plain and simple, boys and girls. If you don't know what you're doing, you can get in trouble. If you know what you're doing and you've maintained, I don't know, for 20 years, trust you and me, you'll pay attention a little bit better. Especially when you've maintained some of the hardest content ever seen in MMOs. I don't know. You know. Try EQ and, you know, Vanilla WoW. So that's just a heads up. But yeah, I agree with you, Irish. It has completely gotten crazy. You know, the conception of what is and what isn't. So I've pretty much done everything, but I think I'm going to go back through 50 just to do it. And I don't want to do a main scenario. It's pretty much just rush. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to requeue for this so we can kind of break it down. and I'm going to do another walkover about the functionality of the macros, the rotation, because in my rotation, you'll notice that I have my Dark Arts ability over here. When I hit my Dark Arts ability, it actually is going to increase the effect, right, of abilities. Now, I pull the magic, right, for my magic pull of my siphon and my health. So I'm maintaining my ability. So my primary is follow up with Siphon Strikes. That increases my MP restored. I can also use my Carve and Spit, increases magic restored if I'm in an AoE situation or need a lot of magic for the AoE pull. I have my Blood Price. And then, of course, I have the Soul Eater. Now, secondary or damage effects with Spinning Splash, with Power Slash. And I can drop the grid at any time, but usually if I'm main tanking, especially in a pug situation, I won't drop off. So that's me personally. But hey, you guys can do whatever the fuck you want. You don't have to listen to me. You don't. I only got 20 years experience, boys and girls. So, you know, hey. Buyer beware. But yeah, I love it because it's like, well, okay, let me see here. Well, I don't want to like pull aggro, and I don't want to, you know, whatever. This is all crazy. Now, once again, once I have aggro, I'm going to turn it. Now you'll see I'll hit. And I'm able to keep my resources pretty full within the rotation. You'll see that I'm not firing any of the abilities prematurely because the macro system's designed to maximize the ability more efficiently. And you see during the rotation, I'm filling up the magic up pretty quick. I can use the one ability, the blood price or blood, yeah, and get it up pretty quick as well with the AoE. So I'm maintaining fine. I have no problem with this class. Of course, once again, I've been playing tanks forever. Fucking God, forever. Okay, once now you'll see I have the provoke. He's going to follow. There ain't a shitload amount of damage that's going to... Okay, now we got some... And you'll see all the aggro's on me, right? It's not on anybody else unless they're... I can hit Shadow Wall if I want. The global cooldown's up. I don't have to hit them both. It's just simple. I mean, most people can say, oh, it's because you're just in a dungeon. You're not in a you know, this or that. Trust you and fucking me, god dang it. It's fucking, the fundamentals are fundamentals of fucking tanking. This shit doesn't change. The difficulty can, fundamentals don't. Okay, boys and girls? Now look, if I have the aggro and I decide I want to go ahead with a little DPS, I can do that. And then I can also use my blood weapon, and I can push a little bit more DPS. Now, if I want, I can go back to my grit to keep the aggro. So you can drop the grit on and off, okay? For God's sakes. Main thing about the DK, and I will stress this, you have to maintain resources at all times. Like, see, I can go ahead and drop this off. Once again, if I feel like I'm taking too much damage and I need further mitigation, I can activate my parry manually because I'm off the GCD. Now we hit the rampart, we hit the debuffers, and it makes it easier. You have to know what you're doing. It's just the way it is, boys and girls. You'll see my magic sustains. It sustains, okay? I have no problem with the resource management because I know the rotation, all right? I know what I'm doing. It's just years and years and years of practice, okay? I'm the type of player I can go to any game, and I'll be fine. If it has the Holy Trinity, god dang, I'll be fine, okay? But the misconception of tanking is just people who don't know what the fuck they're goddamn talking about and teaching people bad shit. You should DPS as a tank. No, you're a fucking tank. If you're a goddamn tank, then do yourself a favor and your party a favor and play the role as expected. For God's sakes, ladies and gentlemen. Now look, once I hit this, now I'm going to follow up. I can hit my blood price. Maintain the aggro the entire time. Every once in a while, I just will hit Unleash just to maintain the aggro if I haven't switched. I'm not worried about the DPS. The DPS isn't really going to help me maintain unless I want to use Carve and Spit and I can get a bigger pull from my magic. Okay? And Carve and Spit's good for that. Okie day. I think we got some shit established. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Okay, we should be getting pulls here. Yep. Turn. Now you'll notice, man, that mitigation definitely helps. Watch it. There's going to be pulls. I think, anyways. Gotta watch some of these rooms. Getting scared there with that resource, eh? Don't worry. Just got to be a little precautious, a little understanding. You'll get it. DK is a little bit more challenging, okay, than the warrior for sure. All right, I don't want people to think it isn't. Oh shit. Now if I wanted to, I could basically come off here. Do a little bit more damage. We already have the aggro. Now, if I want, I can come back into my grit, reduce more further damage. You can come off your grit, guys. Okay, don't think you're stuck with an ability that's just procced because you enabled it, okay? For God's sakes. But you have to understand what grit does. It reduces the damage you take. It helps increase mitigation, and it helps generate threat. Okay, you don't have to keep it on once you initialize. So in FF, I keep running into healers who spend all their MP trying to DPS, then running dry. Yeah, I haven't run into too many tank issues, thank goodness. Yeah, I mean, and it's real. It is real. I mean, people have been taught bad habits. They've been taught bad fucking habits. Okay, it's just, I'm not telling anybody how to play. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Now, once I'm tapped out, I want to make sure I'm using that aggro. But I've already my main rotation. And then I can just feed up, all from Siphon Strikes, okay? But you have to know, man. You can also use pots to help, but I find that using like resource pots on a tank, if you don't know what you're doing, then you've done fucked up already. Alright, if you don't know what you're doing, you've already done fucked up. stuck. That one's gonna hurt. As you guys can see, I actually do get quite a bit of magicka back pretty fast. And I'm in a pug. I'm just pugging it. In pre-mage, you should really see me. Holy shit. I'm a bastard in pre-mage, though. I am a dick. I'm a sergeant. I'm a general. Believe it. Man, this thing is definitely tithering the fuck out of me. Alright. Alright. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Wait till everybody's present and accounted for. Jackson, I need hit 60. I'm still 57. Well, just I'll run with you, Jackson, on a couple of things for sure, for sure. I won't be able to until later though. But yeah, just get a hold of me, man. A little bit later, I'll hit you. I'll run with you a couple things. All right. Now look, this is what I keep trying to tell people. Look, if you want to drop grit off the cooldown, you can do that. Not always the best recommendation, but hey, you can do it. Now look, I'm taking a little bit more damage, so I'm going to re-enable my grit. I'm going to hit my rampart. Right? Now we hit our convalescence. Hit our 5. Hit up our siphons, and we'll get more health. Okay? Just, it's so fucking simple. Come on, ladies and gentlemen of the crowd. Look, it can reactivate, debuff, hit. Who's the man with the It's this pug life. P-U-G. P-U-G. That's pug mentality. We pugging. Pugging, pugging, pugging till the day we die. And even then some. Right? Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. So misunderstanding about people. God. Don't talk about a tank unless you've done it for 20 years and unless you played, I don't know, over 50 MMOs and you've main tanked at least 20 of them. Please, goddamn, shut your fucking pie hole. Okay? Because there's people like me that will come in and smack you across the head with a phone book like your grandma used to and be like, what the fuck were you thinking when you opened your mouth? I'll tell you, you weren't. Okay? I main tanked for years. For years. Alright? For fucking years. So, let this be a lesson. Does Mystic know what he's talking about? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I've given up. You know, generations just keep getting dumber. Don't use grit. Okay, why did devs put it in here? They're stupid. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But it says reduce damage taken and, you know, affects your threat gen. Oh, you just ignore that. Oh, yeah, makes sense, man. Why didn't I think about that? Why? Why didn't I think about that? Oh, well, you know, you could do it in Pug, but in Slayer. Shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Shut the fuck up. Please don't make me smack you. And, oh, DPS as a healer. Oh, yeah, that 200 DPS per second is just amazing, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's not like you have a different stat or two that is hindering your DPS output. No, absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely. Who in the fucker? Who's telling you this stupid shit? Shut the fuck. Please, I'm not bagging on anybody. Don't get me wrong. Play what you want, how you want. Just know that if you're in my fucking group, goddamn ever, and I ever catch some bullshit, me and my dudes, we kick. We'll ask nicely once. Once. Uno. One. You drop aggro as a tank, and you've been warned, we kick you. Okay? If you drop aggro, your job, you're a meat shield. Shut the fuck up, absorb damage, and just shut the fuck up. Okay? If you're a healer, you're healing. If somebody dies because you're DPSing, we kick you. Okay? Just that simple. Okay? It's the premise. Okay? Healers heal and tanks tank. And what's left? Oh, I don't know. DPS doing damage. Okay. Yeah, great. Excellent. I think we've established the Holy Trinity. The, you know, of MMOs, you know. Now let me pray. Everybody get on your knees and pray to RNG Jesus. Now! So, let it be known. All right? Just let it be known. Okay, I've been doing this a lot longer than those pups. Okay? A lot longer. And, you know, they're new. They're new. They've been doing it for maybe 10 years or something. To me, that's new. You know, that's new. It's like, okay, respect. You guys have a little skill. Okay, cool. Excellent. Cool. I wish you guys the best. Live and learn. Let it be known. Trial and error. Get it? Trial and error. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. Once again, I'm Mystic Raven. This is Mystic's MMOs. And as always, thank you guys. Have a nice day.